Welcome to another episode of the Art of Meditation, the art of living and lifting, where we connect the dots between the spiritual and the physical, and I am your guide in this journey. My name is Michael, Coach Michael, you can call me Misha. Let's get rolling. So in this chapter, I intend going to give you two very simple questions that if you answer them sincerely and deeply, your life will be transformed. And this is something I can promise you. So, in the previous chapter, and I strongly suggest you to listen to the previous chapter 15 because there I touched upon the concept of intentionality. I want to take it one step further. And there is a difference between a minimalism and intentionalism. Because minimalism is a state. I am a minimalist. However, intentionality is more of a goal, is an action. Because if you're intentionalist, then the obvious question will be like, all right, what are your intentions? Now, it works both ways because I can be a very miserable minimalist and on the same time, I can be very happy intentionalist owning like huge amount of stuff. And allow me to illustrate this point by my personal example. I strive, I long, my soul demands and think every time I think about it an Oriental Japanese like house. And this is as minimalist as it can be. Wooden floor, some tatami, very simple wooden table, a lot of windows, preferably with a view to the sea and some mountains and green, much light, library with books, very humble kitchen, and that's it. It's basically an empty space. So again, this is as minimalistic as it gets. And this is really my dream that I'm, working for and hopefully will get there someday. Now, if somebody will give me that house, will I be happy? Will I be content? And the answer is not. And this is something actually that took me some time to understand and to dig deep. Because my intentions, you remember, state and goals and actions, is very, very different. My intentions is the ability to flip open my laptop in any location on our planet and write programs, record these episodes, take my videos, and being able just to be in that place for, I don't know, months, 6 weeks, whatever. This is what will really, really make me happy, and content. So this is my intention. Now back to the minimalism or back to this Oriental house. The Oriental house is an outcome of disability because if my income stream that I am again obviously working for will allow me to travel, next step is to make this income stream also allow me to rent an apartment or maybe a house. I don't know how big I can scale my business that will resemble this Oriental setup that my soul really strives for. Now, it's very beautiful because, let's say, in Italy, this Japanese quote-unquote house will look differently, maybe a very plain house somewhere in the country, than it will look in Greece, it will look in Russia, like in the country villages of Russia or Ukraine, which is completely different nature and everything. Whereas in Thailand, it can be a tent or whatever. And let's talk about America, where this small and minimalistic, it may be just, a caravan that I'm driving coast to coast and I will be very beautiful. So you understand this Oriental house that is delusion, it's an illusion. It's basically manifestation of a feeling that I can only get when I have my intentions straight. And that's a trap of, all right, like here's your Oriental Japanese house, like be happy. And you like, shit. And then eventually you hang yourself on the ceiling because you're so miserable and you feel that your life is wasted. And this is where the two questions I promised you enter. The first one, how do you know that you've done or accomplished? Again, how will you know that you have reached your goal, that you are done, that you are succeeded? And again, in my case, the answer is being able to travel. Okay, this much, and sustain me and my family this much. And when you actually count the money, it's not as big as people might think. It's for sure not millions or milliards or even thousands. Okay, like the 100,000s. It's very, very like feasible and real sum to get to, which makes my intentions really real and attainable. So the first question, how will you know that you've succeeded or that you've done, is addresses the intentionalism part of our existence, of our life or of our goals. And a footnote here, it changes and it may change as we grow up. So like nature, we must keep our flexibility to see and to like understand this change or this pivot. The second question, dealing with the quote unquote the minimalistic, the essence, this feeling part, this in my case Oriental Japanese house setup. And the question is, what is left when everything is stripped off or taken from you? And this is exactly the question that Viktor Frankl, in his great, amazing book, The Man's Search for the Meaning, addresses. Because in concentration camps, everything was taken from you, sometimes even your soul. And this is where you left all alone with a question, when your low single-digit body percentage will, drop, when your money is lost, when your loved ones are, dead or went to live their lives, when your business is like you give it to your son or daughter or whatever, when everything is not there, when the social media crashes and nobody knows who you are anymore, and within half a year, and I'm very generous here, nobody, like very few people will actually remember your name. What is left? And this question, like this answer, and this question obviously, is a recipe for a peaceful and content life of inner completion and calm, and this Japanese house, you sit on a wooden floor on a tatami, meditating, feeling completely resolved from everything because you know that you have done what you were, set up to do, and you are at like one, unite with this inner light, inner goal, inner meaning, and you know that this is something that nobody can nor will ever be able to take from you. So when you answer these questions, your life will be transformed, and that is the promise. Think about that. Meet you in the next episode.